Welcome to The Explainer. You know that feeling at the end of a year? It's a natural time to look back, to reflect. But what if that reflection wasn't just personal, but national? Today we're diving into a really powerful essay by the writer Yoon Hae-ruk, who uses the very last day of 2025 to take the temperature of his country, question the nature of time itself, and search for a way to move forward.
So the author sets a very specific scene for us right from the get-go, the final day of the year 2025. This immediately puts us in a moment of transition, right? A time when we all naturally look back at the year that's just passed.
And right away, he sets the mood. This isn't about celebration, it's about somber reflection. That phrase makes the heart grow heavy on its own. Wow. It just perfectly captures that universal, kind of melancholy feeling that can creep in at the end of the year.
But here's the thing. This isn't just about some personal end-of-year blues. The author uses this heavy-hearted feeling as a lens, a way to look at the state of his entire country. And he pivots really fast from this quiet, internal feeling to a very public, very stark assessment of his nation's political landscape in the year 2025.
And the language she uses is just so potent. He describes a political situation that feels unreal, almost like a simulation. He talks about a political hustle play, like it's all just a high-stakes game. And according to him, all of it is fueled by this frenzy of what he calls insurrection framing.
Okay, so let's be really clear on this key concept. When he says insurrection framing, he's describing a very specific political tactic. It's about accusing your opponents of trying to overthrow the government, not because it's true, but as a strategy to grab power and make them seem illegitimate.
So what's the consequence of all this political turmoil? Well, for the author, it's not just noise. He argues that it was a full-on assault on the very foundation of civil society. It just erodes people's ability to think rationally and act with good judgment.
Now, to really get a handle on the gravity of this moment, the author turns to history. He argues that what he's seeing, well, it isn't new at all.
He creates what he calls a parallel theory, drawing this direct line from the late Joseon dynasty to the South Korea of 2025. And you can see it here. He sees the same patterns. A single faction monopolizing power, a breakdown of balance, and a society that's ultimately headed for decline. By framing it this way, he's basically saying, hey, this isn't just a bad year, it's history repeating itself.
But after painting this really grim political picture, the author takes this radical step back. He asks us to consider that maybe this whole drama, the power plays, the history, might just be an illusion, playing out on a stage that isn't as real as we think.
He just steps back from all the chaos and asks this massive, profound question. After describing all this intense, minute-by-minute political drama, he questions the very fabric that it all happens in, time itself.
And his idea is fascinating. He suggests that time isn't some real, tangible force, but more like a collective agreement, a shared hallucination. You know, like the emperor's new clothes. It's only real because we all agree to see it. And he continues with this beautiful, poetic imagery, describing time as an elusive maiden. It's like you can feel her presence, you can see the trails she leaves behind, but you can never actually grab hold of her. It's something we experience, but can never, ever truly possess.
Okay, so if the political world is in turmoil and time itself is maybe an illusion, how is a person supposed to live? Well, the author doesn't just leave us in despair. He actually offers a personal philosophy for navigating what he sees as a pretty dark era.
He kind of accepts that the nation is on a downward path. So his answer isn't to fight a losing battle head-on. It's to change the strategy completely. And this isn't about surrender. It's about a dignified, orderly retreat that's focused on preserving what truly matters, your own integrity.
So this leads him to a personal code of conduct with three main principles. First, plan your retreat. Don't just flee in chaos. Second, reject the greed that he sees fueling all these problems. And finally, and this is a big one, focus on a beautiful departure, on a legacy not of power or wealth, but of being remembered as a good person.
And he ends not with some big political statement or a philosophical decree, but with simple, profound gratitude. After laying out this whole bleak vision, his final thought is just one of thanks to the community that was willing to listen to his difficult and, in his own words, stubborn ideas.
And so, his essay really leaves us with a question to chew on. When we're faced with challenges that feel so much bigger than us, where do we find our own path forward? What are the principles that guide us toward a meaningful life? It's a powerful thought to carry with you.